Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Perfect.
Last night, hello board, and hello audience, a longer term teachers. So nice to see that. And first, I want to give a shout out to the yearbook team this year. We had two people from RV's yearbook, Nayeli and Sukman. And I would also like to give a shout out to counseling, they have been on everything this year. They have got everything done. And I want to start with today, which was picture that we had today. And it was amazing. Every picture that I've seen, it turned out good. There were some pictures that had a little mess of barcodes, but they fixed that within minutes, which was amazing. For school activities, Falcon Freaks will be having a cornhole tournament. Students on our campus had an in-person vote for our homecoming theme, which we tried out this year in person instead of 5-star, which everybody voted for Lights, Camera, Action, which is a movie-based theme, so it's going to be like on movies. Every week, like a different movie day. And then tomorrow, for the first time, ASB is going to have a student council meeting, which will have ASB, sport captains, clubs, which they're going to come and share their information and problems on campus. Next, we had our first girls flag football game, which was the first time in our school's history we had one. They played Sutter. They had a great game. They went overtime, but they lost by 1 touchdown, which is still pretty good. I mean, all of our sports, I feel like all of our sports, they do great. We all try, but eventually it came to a loss. And so did our football game, came to a loss. And our girls volleyball game, varsity also came to a loss. Most of the players were injured, and most of girls varsity was injured, a lot of them. And I feel like football had 4 injured offense linemen. Girls tennis is doing great. Amazing. They just finished their preseason matches going 9-2. They also traveled to the Fresno tennis tournament, which consists of 80 teams. They went 3-1, and the girls won medals for their outstanding playing and winning both matches on the second day. Our first player, Valeria, she's undefeated still, 11-0 this season, which is amazing. And our second runner-upper, Sana, Gina, and Claudia have also played outstanding in the preseason. And our double teams of Alexis and Jasmine have also been playing great. And that team could probably beat a record this year. They're doing great. And this year we have a great feeling that our school tennis will have a great chance to make playoffs and win it all. That's it. Any questions?
Yes. What time is your student council meeting?
Yeah, so it's tomorrow during Falcon Hour.
Okay.
It's after first period. We have a Falcon Hour.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening. I want to start off by saying this month has been pretty productive for Yuba City High School. We've got a lot done in this month. But the first thing we had was our Senate meeting. We talked about what Senate was and the rules. And then we talked about homecoming themes. We haven't really decided one, but we're thinking maybe Great Gatsby or 50s and 60s theme. And then we talked about our financial report. Freshmen have $0 right now. It's because all the freshmen are not in ASB right now because school just started and our applications just came in. So maybe we'll be able to fundraise more for freshmen. But sophomores have $1,000. Juniors have $2,385. And then we had an event this Sunday and we earned about $500. Seniors have $4,608. And then for class points, the freshmen have 130. They're in last place. Sophomores have 158. They're in second to last. And then the seniors have 335. They're in second place. And the juniors have 338. They're winning. And then our football games, we had a Hawaiian theme game for our first game. We did win that one. And then we had a White Lies game lastly. And then the theme of this game is USA. So yeah. And then this week we have Club Rush Thursday and Friday. And the paperwork trainings for clubs to get approved took place last week, and it went well. And some of our new clubs this year are crochet, stay here, and then sports medicine. And for sports medicine, we're trying to get physical therapists and job shadowing to help students interested in kinesiology. And it's going pretty well so far. And then this last Friday, we had our first Friday activity, and it was a scavenger hunt between classes where we had to take like pictures and get stuff signed by an admin. And then the seniors won, juniors got second place, sophomores third, and freshmen last. But the juniors are still winning. And then our annual food fair will be October 25th. So the paperwork is available this Thursday, but we're doing first come, first serve. So like there's like competition between who sells what. So yeah. And then we're having Powder Puff coming up, and our meeting, we just had a meeting during break, and our waivers were sent. This week, our coaches and captains, which are the football players, have been chosen. So that's good. And then volunteer leadership, we will be working with River Valley High School to teach younger leadership schools how to run ASV. But we haven't touched much on it, but like it's November 7th this year. So I believe our advisors are like discussing that right now. But once we get to know more, we'll let you guys know. But that's it.
Thank you, Connie. Some staff recognition.
Yes, Human Resources is pleased to resume the CARES program and recognizing our amazing staff. Robert Pogue, the Director of Human Resources, is here to present this month's recipients.
Evening, Board of Trustees, staff, friends. It's good to be back. This is our third year of CARES, so we've got a nice tradition going where we get to recognize exceptional district staff who shape our culture of excellence. We know that this recognition helps increase our productivity and promotes retention of our very cherished staff members and encourage us to always be trying to improve. All of that helps students, and in the end, it helps Yuba City Unified School District achieve its mission statement of preparing the foundation for each student to build tomorrow's world. So tonight we have three sites and departments that will be recognized, and we will begin with Director Yuba-Sutter of the Child Development Programs.
Good evening, board members, community, and cabinet. It's an absolute honor to be here tonight with Sadiqa Akhtar. Sadiqa has been a child development assistant for over 20 years. And when you talk about shaping the future of tomorrow, this is where it all starts in our child development programs. Sadiqa has over 20 years of loving care, guidance, and instruction for literally thousands of our preschoolers during her tenure thus far. She always puts the kids first, and her families and students love her for it. She's a true educator, and she loves what she does while providing a safe space and learning environment for our kiddos. Every day, whether on the playground or the classroom, Sadiqa is always greeted with a very big smile and an even larger hug. She's a wonderful team member. She's flexible. Some of her team members are here tonight to support her. She always goes the extra mile. Okay, Miss Vaughn, for you, I'll do it. Okay, for Miss Tammy, I'll do it. Okay, for Miss Allie, I'll do it. She'll do it for anybody. She's just incredible. And she's a valued member of our team. So on behalf of Child Development Programs Yuba City Unified, I would like to thank you and congratulate you, Sadiqa, for not only what you do for our youngest learners, but also our community. Picture time, right?
Absolutely.
Ready? Thank you.
Next, we have Andros Carpera School and Principal Rocco Greco.
Come on, Frank. Just gonna bring it with us. All right, board. I sent an email out, and unfortunately, I think I put Tierra Buena. So thank you guys all for coming out to support me here. Appreciate that. So before we get started, I joke around a lot with Frank because he's one of those people on campus. When you go to build a culture at a school, and I think anyone who's worked in an organization, a district office, wherever, building a culture is not one of those things that happens in isolation. It's not a leader showing up and saying, we're going to do this. It's the people on the ground who do the unspoken things that you don't see on a regular basis, the things that they're not doing for accolades, the things that they're not doing that are part of their job description. They're the extra, the untangibles. So while Frank's classes are running away, that like I would be so happy to have my kids, if they were little again, back in Frank's class. I mean, his lines aren't just like inmate precision, they're like military precision. And I say that jokingly, but everything he does is with that level of attention to detail in what he does. The kids, if you haven't noticed, especially in elementary education, males are a dying breed. He serves as that kind of fatherly role model in a lot of ways where it's that stern, but like caring compassion that kids need in their day. So they're very blessed to have him in their lives. But on top of that, it's the other stuff. And not just the things that make my life easier, like going to find the laminator not jammed and left behind, but like Frank's come through and fixed it, or like Frank has unloaded the paper or done these other things that make him a team player. It's the other intangibles. And you were talking about it through the recognition program, the things you do to help keep people together as a staff or a team. Those are the things that Frank does. So new teachers in the grade level this year, Frank doesn't just mentor by saying what they should do. He makes sure they know if there's a hard kid or a struggle, send them over for a little bit. You know what? Let me just go ahead and take your morning duties for the first semester so that you've got some extra time to prep. He does those types of things for everyone on campus. If you need him to do the flag salute, help with the walk of fame, anything that's going on, Frank is there to do those intangible things that you don't see. Those things that happen behind the machine that make it run in a way so that everyone starts to feel valued. The kind of leadership that happens behind the scenes without, and don't get me wrong, he's absolutely hating every minute of this recognition right now. And that's not why he does it at all. But it's people who do it for those reasons that really make the difference, that inspire other people to start stepping up and doing those things that make a place somewhere that you want to work, somewhere that you want to be, and that's somewhere you want to stay. And when you get people to stay together behind a singular cause, that's when you truly start to see greatness. That's where it's a kind of place that you want to get up and come and do that extra thing every single day. And I think that's what Frank embodies for us at AK. So congratulations, Frank.
You made it through the whole speech, Frank. You did it. You did it. I didn't picture that.
I think you got super nervous when I didn't pull out a paper to read from.
Thank you. You're right behind the podium. Thank you. Great smile. Thank you.
Uh-oh. Hey, you can drop it.
Our last presenter will be Principal Renzullo from Albert Powell High School.
Good evening, board. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for all being here. It's my honor to honor Nance Contreras. Nance has been the district high set teacher for the past 4 years. Nance is retired, but Nance has come back to work with the kids that need it the most. And really, I need to say need her the most. In that time, she's helped over 70 students pass the high school equivalency test and earn their high set proficiency certificate. These are the students that mathematically are unable to earn a high school diploma, but walk away from high school with the ability to get a job, go to a trade school, join the military, or go on to college with FAFSA. But she's not just a teacher. She's been a cheerleader, a disciplinarian, a chauffeur to the DMV for a state ID, or a ride to school and or back home. Some kids would put it, with a lot of love, a nag, but really, in a good way.
Yes.
Most of all, she's the keystone to the high set program. If Nance did not do all these things, half, if not more, would never have completed the program. But it's her persistence and her love of her students that makes the whole program what it is. And who can ever forget when one of our students graduates, the woo-woo from room 2 that we hear from Nance every single time. And even when she's not supposed to be there, and she's there because she's trying to get things done for kids, she's still there to support our kids. So thank you, Nance, for all that you do.
I'm gonna wait for the podium to sit here. Thank you. Oops, I lost my camera. Technical difficulties. Great picture. Thank you. Congratulations.
I used to wish I was in your body. You know? Oh, you don't say Molly. I can't pass that. No, I was me. Well, me. Okay. Awesome. All right.
Hugging in this meeting, right? Let's go.
Okay, so there are some comments from the public on items that are not on the agenda. So did you read? Thank you.
Of items not appearing on the agenda, notice to the public, the Brown Act, specifically Government Code Section 54954.2, provides that no action or discussion shall be taken on any item unless it is adequately described in a timely posted agenda. Accordingly, though the public may comment on matters within the board's jurisdiction that do not appear on the agenda, the board cannot respond to such comments without running the risk of deliberating or initiating discussion on topics not properly before the board. Given the prohibition set forth in the Brown Act and the risk associated with responding to public comments, the board does not respond to the community's questions or comments. The board will respect the rights of the public to express their viewpoints on matters within the board's jurisdiction. However, comments that are defamatory or that violate the privacy rights of any students or individuals may not be protected by law. The board shall not permit any disturbance or willful interruption of board meetings.
Thank you. So we have 4 speakers. The first, Grant Thornton.
I'll never say it. All right, so good evening, honorable board members and district staff. My name is Grant Thornton. I'm a resident of Yuba City, a father of 2 children at Tierra Buena, and a husband to a teacher at the same school. I'm here today as a father of students and not on behalf of my wife, who wished she could be here but is taking care of the kids. We've been a part of Tierra Buena for the last few years, and I have to say that the one thing that I love about TV is that it feels less like a school and more like a small community. Which brings me to why I'm here this evening. I'm here as a result of receiving notification that the district is transferring a teacher from Tierra Buena to another school due to low enrollment numbers. I respectfully request that this decision be rescinded for the following reasons. Yuba City, specifically Northwest Yuba City, is growing. We have several new housing developments currently under construction in our area. In addition, we received word that from people in our area that transfer requests to TV school have been denied. School has been in session for about a month. During this time, teachers and students have had an opportunity to develop bonds. Moving this teacher during this critical point in the semester will undoubtedly result in significant amount of stress and takes an emotional toll on both the teacher and affected students. The transferred teacher will be required to develop new curriculum and lesson plans, especially if they're transferred to a classroom that's at a different grade. And I speak from personal experience when I say that lesson planning is something a teacher often spends a majority of their summer working on and refining. Another teacher from within the school will need to assume that vacancy, creating similar social emotional issues in that respective classroom, and possibly resulting in collapsed classrooms. In short, removal of one of the teachers has a negative cascading effect. Removal of a teacher from the school results in lower morale for the teachers, and there's a concern for site uncertainty. Yuba City already struggles with teacher retention and new talent acquisition. Moving teachers around mid-semester risks the district's integrity as a great place of employment. This year, Tierra Buena has received a PBIS Platinum Implementation Award, the highest level for PBIS and the only school in the district to achieve this honor. This is to say that something about this school is unique and working. Rather than remove teachers, the district should be studying this school to see what techniques could be applied to other schools. My wife tells me it's the TV magic. I fear this decision may be both premature and short-sighted. As I noted earlier, I respectfully request that this decision is rescinded and reevaluated at a time closer towards the end of the spring semester when summer break is around the corner and teachers' contracts are up for negotiation. This allows affected staff to determine their employment goals and help to better lesson plan for a new transition. Thank you very much for the time.
Charlene De La Serna.
Good evening, families, board members, and Superintendent Asumi. My name is Charlene de la Serna, and I'm a first grade teacher at Terra Buena School. I'm here tonight to address the district's decision to collapse one kindergarten and one first grade class to make a K-1 combo. I now have 20 students after just welcoming a new student 5 days ago. This is normal because students enroll in school throughout the school year. Yuba City Unified District is deciding now to combine these classes, though doing this will increase class size to 24 with the possibility of more students being added throughout the school year. This school year marks my 14th year as a teacher, and I have been teaching at Terra Buena for 8 years, and this is my 6th year in first grade. After spending countless hours preparing the summer with the new furniture for this school year, our staff was informed on Wednesday, September 4th, that my class would be dismantled. This means my students will be reassigned to new teachers. As you can imagine, I was devastated and heartbroken. I love my students, their families, and my staff at Terra Buena. However, I am here not to speak just on my behalf, but to stand up for all who are involved. I want the board to consider the students and their families. This news has come as a shock because we are approaching the 20th day of school, and as a parent of 3 children, I am saddened for how this affects families, and I understand the stress that it creates. I know the nervousness and anxiety that children feel starting school, and as an educator, we know the first few weeks of school are critical for building bonds and practicing procedures. As we surpass the 4th week of school, we're about to force teachers and students to start over. All grades are important, but kindergarten and first set the foundation for learning. Why are we doing this? This maneuver makes little sense this late in the school year. It is disruptive to the well-being of our students and to the learning we're providing for our children. 20 students in one class is an appropriate number for first grade learning. New homes are being built as we speak and will be occupied by families that will be enrolling in school soon. When this happens, we will have another problem. Teachers will need to be hired, and in a time where there is a teacher shortage, is this the best solution? Is this fair to our schools, our staff, and most importantly, our students? You can do the right thing and let Terra Buena keep our children in their current classrooms. You also have the opportunity to make sure 20 days into the school year, we are not making such a devastating change to our learning environment for our youngest learners. There's a district just across the river that does not make changes after 10 days. I ask you to retract your decision and to allow the children of Terra Buena to stay in their classroom. Thank you for your consideration. Please.
Good evening, school board and district staff. My name is Katie Blaze, and I'm a 3rd grade teacher at Terra Buena School. I also happen to have a kindergartner and a 4th grader at Terra Buena, both of which are being affected by the district's decision to remove a teacher from Terra Buena over a month into the school year. My daughter Avery's class size in kindergarten is increasing because one of the kindergarten teachers is being forced to take a K-1 combination class, and the rest of the kindergartners not going into the combination will be split among the other 2 kindergarten teachers. Thank goodness Avery will be remaining with her amazing Mrs. Frenger, but because of the district's decision, she'll be missing out on vital instructional time while her teacher rearranges her classroom management and works with the new students on learning routines and procedures. Also, by increasing Avery's class size in such an important instructional year as kindergarten, the district will also be decreasing the ratio of student-teacher interaction and therefore decreasing the chances of my daughter achieving academic success this year. Then there's my son, William, who is losing his current 4th grade teacher. He came home the first week of school so excited because Mr. K had them on Google Earth looking at their houses and making maps of the neighborhood they live in as part of a social studies activity. My son, William, is a gifted student, and Mr. Kennedy's classroom environment provides the enriching, challenging, and rigorous environment that he very much needs. However, as I'm speaking to you and William is getting ready for bed, he is unaware that tomorrow his teacher will be sharing with the class that he will be moving to 7th grade and a 1st grade teacher will be taking over the class next week. Mr. Kennedy has taught middle school before and very graciously volunteered to take the 7th grade position instead of the displaced 1st grade teacher. William's going to be devastated, and once again, he'll be missing out on vital instructional time while his new teacher gets to know his class, sets up her own routines and procedures, and begins an entirely new curriculum. Your decision will also decrease the chances of my son achieving academic success this year. In our middle school, so outside of my own, what I'm experiencing, a 7th grade teacher with the least seniority is being moved to a 1st grade position at King Avenue. This will affect at least 40 7th grade students at our school. Also, of the 1st grade students at our site, they will all have increased class size or be moved to a new teacher. So by my very low estimations between kindergarten, 1st grade, 4th grade, and 7th grade, this decision is affecting at least 170 students in some way at Terra Buena. This decision decreases the chance of academic success for over 170 students at Terra Buena School, while teachers are learning new curriculum, moving classrooms, etc. This decision made by the district does not take into account what is best for over 170 students at Terra Buena School. I ask that you hold off on removing a teacher from our site until the following school year, so the impact on students is far less. Thank you for your time.
Stacy Quigley.
Good evening. My name is Stacy Quigley. I'm a proud parent at Terra Buena Elementary and Middle School. I'm here on behalf of my children, Haley, a 7th grader, Emily, a 3rd grader, Jacob, who just started kindergarten. Excuse me. I also serve on the PTA. Our family's been a part of the school for 8 years, and with my youngest just starting, we have 8 more years ahead of us. The news of teacher cuts and class consolidation came as an unwelcome surprise. These changes will dramatically affect not only hundreds of students and their families, but also our several dedicated teachers. These educators devote their lives in preparing our students for their future, and our students rely on them for learning, guidance, and success. The lack of staffing impacts me personally on multiple levels. My medically fragile 7th grader is settled and comfortable with her teachers. Now her homeroom teacher will be reassigned, disrupting the stability she relies on. This teacher, who has been a constant support, is being moved like a pawn, forcing my daughter to adapt to a new teacher and build new relationships from scratch. There are several more students with higher needs that this will also derail. Additionally, my 5-year-old kindergartner, who was not ready for school, yet forced into school before he was ready, will lose the enrichment program that provides essential one-on-one time. This program helps him and other students grow, gain confidence, and succeed. Now his teacher must take on a K-1 combo class, further diminishing the support he receives. Kindergarten and 1st graders are in their prime stages of learning. By combining classes, you are not setting their education goals first, nor are you setting them up for success. These changes also significantly impact our teachers' personal lives. They were not consulted about these new roles. They were simply told. They were not invited to be a part of the discussion or to offer solutions that might find common ground and meet everyone's needs. You entered the situation needing to make changes, but instead of considering the profound impact on hundreds of families, you chose the easy way out. You denied inter-district transfers, and now you blame us for low enrollment while taking away our teachers. With hundreds of new homes being built, our student body is set to grow, yet you're undermining our neighborhood and subsequently our community's stability. The positions of the district office that have been split into 2 because they are thought to be too much for one person are the same thing you're doing to our teachers. Too much for one person is going to be the large class sizes. You make these changes and still accept an increase in test scores. Our school was the first also to have counseling services cut when there was a higher need, now more than ever. I urge you on behalf of my family, my children, and our district's children to reconsider the decision. Immediately reinstate the teachers, keeping class sizes untouched, and find a new solution. The students of Yuba City Unified School District deserve better.
Thank you. Moving on to the consent agenda. Can you motion, please, no questions? I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
A motion by member Pretty, a second by member Cianciola. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Action item A, expulsion, suspended contracts, and leave please.
Make a motion to approve as discussed in closed session.
Second.
A motion by member Roscoe, a second by member Cianciola. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. B, approval of unaudited actuals financial report.
So, as stated, it is the unaudited actual. This is for the 23-24 school year, runs July 1st to June 30th. We will actually have the audit report that will be delivered to you in January. So we wrap up the books, we present them now, there'll be an audit, and then the audit report will be presented in January. So we, this is over the time crunch to get this done. We're still analyzing the books, the closing of the books. I'll hit a couple highlights. The unrestricted ending fund balance decreased by $11.2 million. A lot of we expected us to have some deficit spending here due to carryover and some one-time costs. The restricted ending fund balance increased by $12.4 million. That is due to a couple of things. We received expanded learning opportunities program grant, and it's hard for us and many districts, as I talked to my CBO counterparts, to spend all those dollars right now. We also expect the state to claw some of those dollars back. We don't know exactly how much, but it could be in the neighborhood of about $10 million.
Say that last part again. I apologize.
So we expect the state to take back some of the funding for the expanded learning opportunities grant. We don't know what that dollar amount is going to be, but we're expecting it could be in the $10 million range for us. It's sitting in our ending fund balance in a restricted resource, so we have it to pay it back if we have to. Many districts across the state are having the same struggle with these ELOP dollars.
Can I ask a question on that? Sorry.
Yeah.
So I know with the consortium, I don't know if YCSD goes into that, but if we pay into the consortium, if we have them run that, then that money becomes carryover, no? It doesn't have to go, we have to return it for the year.
I don't know the answer to that, and if, as far as the details on the ELOP program, I would defer to Ed Services on that.
Okay. Well, we can connect on it maybe later.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
We also received additional kind of one-time grant that's I think we can use up through 27-28, the arts, music, discretionary grant. So those are some of the reasons why that ending fund balance increase in the restricted is sending, we just received monies that are good for a couple of years in the arts grant, and the ELOC we're just not spending at the rate, that full amount, and we expect some of those dollars to go back. Another thing to note in the unaudited actuals is there is a requirement for a unified school district to pay 55% or spend 55% of their expenditures on classroom compensation. We did not meet that goal in this report. We were shy by about $2.8 million. For the most part, the result is we're spending one-time dollars. You can't put one-time dollars into classroom compensation unless it's a one-time payment, I guess. So we had a significant amount of carryover from supplemental concentration from last year. This year we had to spend down, and also the COVID funds. Those were a lot of there were non-classroom dollars in there. So we expect to have file a waiver with the County Office of Education for that one. We expect to get it. They've already indicated that many districts are at the same issues, so we don't expect that to be an issue there.
Can I ask a question about that? Why are we in a position where we have to file a waiver? We're not spending the money we're supposed to spend on our people. I mean, I don't understand why we're in that position.
Well,
I mean, I know there's one-time fines, and I understand all that, but if the money was there to get us to the 55% that we needed to be at, why didn't we go there?
So it would not be good practice to spend dollars you receive once on compensation.
Well, I understand that, but it seems like there was money. Otherwise, we would have we wouldn't be so far behind the 55%.
We're not so far behind, but I'm I'm not sure exactly how to answer your question. We had a lot of non-classroom expenditures because we can't. First of all, two reasons. You can't spend one-time revenues on ongoing expenses, one, and we couldn't hire people. I mean, we could not hire teachers or people to get in the classrooms. I would say that would be
Obviously, or well, we wouldn't have all these parents and teachers here asking us not to move people. True. I mean, if we would have hired more teachers, would that have gotten us closer to our 55%?
Again, you'd be hiring teachers on a funding source that's going away. So that, I mean, I'm still not.
Well, so our 55% is based on money that goes away? That's what I don't understand.
I'm telling you that a big part of the reason for us not meeting this ratio is that we had a number of one-time expenses that did not go into the classroom compensation. So it would be like shade structures and playgrounds and some of those things that we did with the COVID dollars. So there are one-time revenues and one-time expenditures.
Yeah, I get all that. I do get all that. But so that amount of money is counted in the tally of the 55%?
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Okay.
So the next step, for us is we're going to analyze the data, and this will help us kind of create our first interim. So I'm hoping that as we close the books, we kind of understand where our expenditures are. It'll help us get a better understanding of how we bring back the revised budget first interim in December.
So real quick to be clear, were you asking? This is how I understand this. The $2.5 million recent. Were you applying as like a surplus of money?
No. So the requirement is 55% of your expenditures are spent on classroom compensation, I mean salaries and benefits and those types of things in the classroom, not administration. And so that would be the numerator, and the denominator would be all your expenses. We had all of your expenses, we had a significant amount of non-classroom expenditures, kind of like the other things I was talking about that we did with one-time funding. So the shade structures, HVAC, all that COVID stuff.
So if we would have offered a one-time bonus, that would have gotten us closer to the 55%?
It could have, yeah. Which I think we did offer at some point.
So if we had taken the one time out of the denominator, would we be at the 55%?
If we would have not spent those dollars, yeah, we could have rejected the
No. I'm not saying, Scott, I'm not saying to reject them. I'm asking you if our cap is 55%. I'm asking you if we didn't receive those one-time funds.
Yes, we would have been within the ratio. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next.
Sorry, Brian. Misunderstood.
Any questions? Make a motion.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Motion by member Cianciola, second by member Orozco. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. C, adoption of GAN appropriation limit.
So I tried to kind of put a little explanation in the staff report. This is a complicated code, government code, but in 1979 it was established, and it's essentially the goal is to keep government spending at an inflation-adjusted dollar amount from 1979 through this pretty complicated formula that gets there, but we fall within the code, and so we're asking you to approve the GAN limit resolution.
What does that mean? Talk to me, Goose.
Well, what it means is they want us to stay within a certain dollar amount that was established in 1979 and adjusted through inflation to today. What it means beyond that, I have no idea.
So GAN wants us to spend only a particular amount because of a formula adopted in 1979.
Yes.
Okay, and what happens if we don't accept this?
I don't know.
Yeah. I guess I just don't understand what we're doing here with this. That's all.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it seems like some sort of bureaucratic check
I agree with
thing.
you. Yeah.
And I can't understand what my vote is pushing us more towards I just don't know. So I'm just seeking understanding.
Yeah.
Because I'm accountable for my 1/7 of a vote here. That's all.
Well, I don't have really a better explanation, but I can contact you later and can go through the GAN limit,
The figure that we have to stay within based upon the resolution, that is what it's saying is that it was established in 1979. It's been adapted based upon
inflation.
Right. But it's basically where the board is acknowledging that they are going to stay within those GAN limits as established by the formula.
That is.
So we're not going to spend more than we have.
That is correct.
That's a good plan to go with.
Same black.
Bureaucratic garbage.
Any other questions? Make a motion? Oh, just kidding.
Sorry, Madam President.
Okay. Make a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, on a motion by member sorry. And a second by member Core. Can we get a roll call, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Member Cianciola?
Okay.
Member Carr?
Yes.
Member Lamb?
Yes.
Member Roscoe?
Yes.
Member Pretty?
Okay.
Yes. Thank you. Member Pulte?
Yes.
President Domi?
Yes.
Thank you.
The 23-24 actuals for EPAs.
Yeah, so, okay. The education protection account is, we'll call it more bureaucratic
Great.
stuff.
My favorite.
It's part of the local control funding formula. There's a lot of sources of money that go into our local control funding formula, which is our main source of funding. This is one of those. And it was established in 2013, and it was really when there was a time as a really, budget times were really tough. They established an additional tax to help fund education. It has just continued on, even though we got out of the kind of the recession back then. And part of that legislature, we cannot use these dollars for administrative purposes, expenditures. So we do an annual report, and that's what you're approving here. That shows that we spend these dollars, $17 million on teacher salaries and benefits.
I see here that you're not projecting any monies for books and supplies. Is that accurate?
Just out of this one.
Just out of this one pot.
This one fund.
Okay.
All right, any other questions? Make a motion.
I make a motion to accept.
I'll second it. Yeah,
That's a
motion. I'm messing up today. We have a motion by member Cianciola, second by member Pretty. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. All right, board reports, information, discussion. Okay.
Well, if this is the right place, I always have a hard time. I'm
Might
like,
not be.
maybe. No?
Maybe at the end.
Okay, let's go. There. Thank you, Madam President.
All right, written communications from the public. I don't think there are any, so we're gonna move on to employee representatives.
We're trying to say. Did you guys vote Shambo? We did. We almost did. So I'm kind of like, Good evening, board. I'm Mercedes Geraldo, representing classified employees and staff. Staff, anybody out there in Zoom land? All two? Tons. 10, tons. There we go. So first I want to start out by congratulating Sadiqa. I first met Sadiqa, oh my gosh, right after I became a union steward, and I was out, kind of the children's center was my go-to spot, right? And I'd go cruise around there and check out things. And wow, she was part of the toddler program back then. And we actually had toddlers that were really not supposed to be potty trained yet. And her passion was just amazing. So it's just lovely to see somebody who has so much passion to get back into the district. Last week, our last 2 weeks ago, I was a little explosive. I apologize. But, because of that, we have opened some good lines of communication and dialogue, and I really do appreciate that. And I feel that we can work together and bring that awareness of, we are classified, we are important. We do help run the district and make that known, right? So next week, we're starting our back up to our regular bi-weekly labor management meetings where CSA meets with HR to kind of just keep things going and kind of put out fires that need to be put out, work through things. So I do appreciate that. I promise I won't talk about that GAN grant or whatever that was called because I still don't know what that was. So have a great evening. 2 more weeks, right?
Good evening, board members. Steve Lickens, president of the Yuba City Teachers Association, city staff, and anybody out there. I would first like to address the comments you heard tonight from Terra Buena. You heard from Terra Buena an active, engaged school community. Our Terra Buena school is a really strong community school. Those community schools we want to build where people really identify with this is our area, this is our school, we're really invested in it. So Terra Buena magic is something I have definitely heard lots about. There was lots of angst, disappointment, bewilderment as the decision was made to reduce the staffing at Terra Buena. I know that for them it is particularly difficult as they watch all the new housing go up and they're like, those kids will come. And they look at it as, we work really hard to make sure we can hire the very best to serve our students, and we don't want to lose even one of those. I think that is true at all of our schools. It is very difficult right now to hire teachers and other educators. It is particularly important now that we take really good care of those educators so that we become the place that everybody wants to come. Everybody wants to bring their children. Everybody wants to come and seek employment at Yuba City Unified. So decisions such as the one made at Terra Buena are particularly difficult in these early weeks of school. They are unsettling. When Charlene talks to you about the time they spend, elementary classrooms are an amazing place to be. They spend a lot of time prepped in that room and preparing a welcome for students. So there's a lot of trauma involved in the moves that happen, especially for our youngest learners. I appreciate their advocacy. They're willing to speak up and address you all with their concerns. I would encourage all of us to speak up when we believe that there might be better options for our students. So I appreciate Terra Buena community coming forward. I know that there are similar impacts at Park Avenue and at Lincoln. You heard from Lincoln on another night. We do have a challenge in hiring. We are in a severe educator shortage, teachers and special education employees. We are going to need to work really hard to make sure that we can continue to attract and retain the very best. There are currently 4 elementary vacancies, 3 of which will now be filled by displaced teachers. There's a remaining elementary vacancies. There's other vacancies around the district, such as social science at Gray Avenue or science at River Bend. There's multiple vacancies that have been filled by teachers teaching on their prep period, not an ideal solution. And particularly notable is the fact that we have a vacancy of at least 2 SLP, speech and language pathologists, and those positions are currently filled by contract employees. That's particularly disturbing because those are not our employees, and they may be paid far more than our SLPs who they're working right side by side with. We are short 3 ed specialists working with our students with IEPs. It is just critical that Yuba City Unified be on the forefront of making sure we are the best place to work, the best place to educate our kids, and that people are looking to come to Yuba City Unified for employment. As the meeting went on, I reviewed the unaudited actuals and found that that 53.6%. I recognize that school funding is complex and there was lots of one-time dollars, but I have watched over my 20 years of watching board agendas and the budget. The percent of our budget at Yuba-City Unified has continued to decline as a percent spent on certificated salaries. We're in the people business. I know what back in 2008, 9, 10, Paul Dead Joel used to say, oh, we're in the people business. 80% of our budget is the people. It doesn't seem that way these days. And I get it. There was lots of one-time dollars to spend, but we've got to make sure we stay focused on what our highest priorities are, and that's taking care of the people who are taking care of the kids. So I continue to urge us to work on the means by which we can continue to attract and retain the very best for all of our students here in Yuba-City Unified. And along those lines, next week we will be engaged in negotiations again as we negotiate an expired contract. The contract expired in June 2024. So I hope that we will be able to move forward in timely negotiations this year. And I know it requires a lot of all of us to move forward. So I look forward to eventually being here when you adopt a tentative agreement. Thank you.
Thank you. Comments from board members?
I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who came tonight. I think our community is better, education is better when parents are involved, and our community has a high level of care and involvement. So I always appreciate the community coming, and hope they feel welcome here. And I feel like we do that. And I know that it is not up for action tonight, and this was it's not an actionable item, but I just felt compelled to at least voice that, as one of the speakers mentioned, every school has a culture of its own that is cultivated and invested in. And it's not just one person, it is the entire staff. And especially when it's a good culture, I respect that. And I think a lot of these decisions, if I guess, for lack of a better word, my default is for these kinds of decisions must rest on the administrators, the teachers, and the parents of that school, who ultimately also have to, the site administrators also have to weigh their budget and all of their other considerations. So that is my stripe of the beach ball. But I also wanted to just correct, because, and maybe this is corrected on the latter end, but there's several times there some misinformation, not coming from the dias, but just as far as when we have a contractor who's fulfilling a duty and they aren't a permanent employee, that there is, just confirming, there aren't benefits, there's not CalPERS or STRS. We are paying a company who then takes a cut, and then a fraction of that actually gets passed to the employee. So that's all. Those are my comments.
Just point of clarification, we will be liable for PERS as well. That's a new thing that's coming out. That'll be coming to you guys soon. Learned that today.
I'm gonna put that in that other category.
Retirement.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, so I'll follow suit with Kirsten here. And I appreciate the staff and the parents coming out to talk to us about from Terraway. It's never easy decisions, and I appreciate the comments. And I wish there was an easier choice to what we can do. And I wish everyone the best of luck. Everything going on.
I completely echo all that. And the thing that really struck me was when I don't remember which person who spoke, but they, said, come to us, let us be part of the decision making. And I didn't hear that that's what happened. And I know that sometimes these decisions have to be made, I know Superintendent knows, she's, the last stop, the buck stops with her, she's the superintendent. But I think some of this angst may have been alleviated if 2 or 3 weeks ago, we would have come to the staff of these different schools and said, look, we've got a problem, help us figure it out. And help us come to a resolution that will, while it may not be a wonderful solution, it's at least one that we can all stomach. And I don't hear that happened. So I would like us to maybe consider doing that a little bit more, involving the people who are actually doing the work and helping make the decisions that are hard. So that's my 2 cents.
Strike beach ball.
My stripe of that beach ball, I get the blue one.
Oh. So for me, I just have something that I wanted to bring up with the board. CSBA's in December, in the beginning of December. There are some pre-conference sessions that we could attend. So if you guys can take a look, if there's any that you guys would like to attend.
Where is it this year?
Anaheim, Disneyland.
Oh, that's a new one. That's not normal, is it?
We've been there.
So if you guys can take a look, if you guys want to attend any of those, please let Laura know.
ASAP. The sessions tend to fill up, and so we need to get you registered and see if there's still room available. So if you'd like to, Laura can pull the pre-conference sessions so you can see what they are. We would need to make adjustments to your hotel reservations as well. So just, if you could, Laura will send that tomorrow. We'll know more, and then.
So this is in early January or early December.
First week of December.
And by that point in time, we will have had the elections.
Correct.
All 3 people who are running for the board this time are running unopposed. Are we extending the invitation to attend to the new member of the?
We have done that before, so we can certainly extend that to the individual running unopposed.
I'm sorry that.
I will send them. I'll send them. I'm just relational. And then I will send them to you.
Okay, thank you.
The only other thing is, I had this discussion with Superintendent Sumi. We have never asked the student board members to attend, and I know that there's logistics and things that are involved with that, but maybe we can look into possibly having them attend as well.
They do have sessions for the student board members.
They do.
That might be helpful for them. I'd like to see them be a little bit more involved.
I will look into that. And then be talking with you too.
Okay. Anything else? No, superintendent.
Just a couple things. On September 24th, which will be the next board meeting, I'm just updating the board calendar. The instructional materials textbook sufficiency public hearing will be held. Also, you will have received, and I think you may have already received it, a notification to participate in mandated reporting. So the law actually requires that board members participate annually in mandated reporting. Well, if you've done it, you guys, yes.
Can we just send you the certificate?
We probably can take it from the
It's
other issue.
13.
Yes.
Because I've been to,
it and you've already taken it, then just send us your certificate. Otherwise, you'll get the ability to log on and take that training.
It's so much fun.
I think it is.
Awesome. So it just says, oh, perfect. Can I get a motion? Oh, sorry. Next board meeting, September 24th at 7. Can I get a motion?
So motion.
A second.
On a motion by member Ciocciola, second by member Quilty. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Hi, I'm Neil Goforth of Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties. Caring for elders or even yourself has challenges. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties can help you address today's issues and plan for tomorrow with in-home and specialized care for you or your family members. Call us at 530-749-4444 8800. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada Counties.